Let this be a lesson for you. Matt Coyle, who is a best-selling crime novelist, the guy who created the Rick Cahill series of detective novels, was planning to write for 30 years before he got to it, okay? Because he was busy managing a restaurant, then he was selling golf equipment, then he was doing international sports licensing deals, and then finally, he spent more than a decade writing evenings before he came out with his first novel in 2013 named Yesterday's Echo. And finally, he was off and running. He has since published 10 novels, the Rick Cahill series of detective novels, very successful. But he got a late start in life. He got a late start because, like so many other people, he wanted to write, but he kept getting sidelined. Not just because he needed to make a living and wanted to, have a real job, but there's also what many of us run into, which is the fear of actually sitting down and writing and getting things done, worrying about failing at it or worrying about how difficult it is. And even to this day, Rick Cahill will tell you, not Rick Cahill, but Matt Coyle, the author, will tell you that when he sits down to write, there are days when it's just, he can find any excuse in the world not to sit down and write, but he does it because writing is really what he is here to do. It's what he was meant to do, even though it's a very exacting process for him and almost everybody else who writes. We understand this. You can learn a lot more about Matt Coyle on episode number 155 of the Novelist Spotlight podcast. I talked to him about his background, about his late start in life with actually getting writing of those novels, but then his success. He ended up being very successful with it, and how he goes about writing, what's his writing regimen, what kind of attitude does he bring to the keyboard, what works for him and what doesn't. He doesn't outline novels, by the way. He actually writes organically. He has a vision in mind, and then he writes organically. Something is really difficult to do, something most people don't even attempt to do because it is very difficult. You can write yourself right into a corner and spend a lot of time and effort only to find out that you're really not going anywhere. It works for him, though. Best-selling crime novelist Matt Coyle, episode number 155 of the Novelist Spotlight podcast.